Welcome to Kivo University, Chapter 5, Title Search, Encumbrances, and Land Use Control. My name is Lydia Hedrick, and I will be your professor. In these videos, I will touch on parts that students have a hard time understanding and give examples or scenarios for words and their definitions. I will also be giving tips to help memorize important terms and definitions. Warning! These videos will not be a substitute for reading the book, only a supplement. So let's begin. In Chapter 5, we will be discussing what takes place upon acquisition of a property. As we learned in Chapter 4, ownership requires a title or deed, and that title is part of an abstract, which is essentially the history of a property.
Lydia! Recording one of your cute little videos.
I was about to.
Well, I heard you talking about the land run. That was so interesting. I did not know that Tom Cruise was so old. Can you believe he lived in the 1800s? Crazy. Anyway, I needed to have you answer some questions. Do you have some time?
I mean, we were kind of filming, but sure. I'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you. You know that I recently bought a piece of land, and let me tell you, it is magical. I bought it from my great Uncle Bob's best friend's son, Joe.
That sounds complicated.
It was a little, which is actually what I wanted to talk to you about. How do you know that everything with a real estate transaction is on the up and up?
Oh, I'm sure it was all on the up and up. Did you get title insurance?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
Well, a prudent person buying real estate will want to know the exact state of the title of the property and will demand that the seller furnish evidence of ownership in accordance with the prevailing title standards.
Okay. You just said a lot of words that I don't really understand, and honestly, you're kind of stressing me out. I have a deed to the land. That's enough.
No. The fact that the seller can produce a deed to the property is not adequate title because there could be a lesser degree of ownership or a clouded title. I'm assuming that you bought the land with cash?
Yes, I handed him a big old duffel bag of money. How did you know that?
Typically, lenders are very concerned with the state of the title because they want to make sure that if they are lending money to you to buy the land, they want to know that they own the land outright and you are the only person in line to collect money from you. Lenders won't lend to a buyer without a title opinion.
Well, I know for a fact that I don't owe any money on the property. I mean, for goodness sakes, Lydia, I literally just bought it.
You don't know that. Since you didn't do a title search, there could be several different issues that could cost you money. There could be an encumbrance, a deed restriction, or restrictive covenant. You could have a massive easement in the middle of your property that makes the land unusable. You could have an encroachment on your land by someone else. There could be a tax lien or a mechanic's lien that you have to pay.
Well, that all sounds really bad, and I'm not even sure that I know what it all means.
Well, the first thing I mentioned was an encumbrance. An encumbrance is a blanket term for an adverse interest affecting title. Unfortunately, the list of adverse interests affecting title is pretty long. I almost feel bad having to tell you.
Oh, no, it's okay. This isn't stressful at all. I'm really so glad to be learning how to just keep going. Okay.
Sorry, but you need to know this. The first type of encumbrance is a deed restriction or restrictive covenant. These are rules that were put into place within to determine what you can do with your property. They could say what color you're allowed to paint your house that you build, how big the house can be, what building material you are allowed to use, or if you are even allowed to build a house, period.
What? How is that even possible, Lydia? I bought the land. Shouldn't I be allowed to use it however I decide to use it?
Not necessarily. Imagine if you live in a neighborhood with 20 lots and all the houses are traditional design and over 3,000 square feet. Then someone buys a lot and decided to build a house shaped like a giant duck right there in the neighborhood.
Okay, that's a ridiculous scenario.
Exactly. This is why deed restrictions exist. They are put into place to protect your neighbors.
Well, I don't think that that's going to be an issue with my land. It's over 20 acres.
Well, that is good, but without much land, there is a high likelihood that there is some type of easement on the property.
What is an easement?
An easement is a right of way or right to use another's property or a portion thereof. Some examples of this are utility easements or a driveway to access a connecting property.
Okay, well, that doesn't sound too bad, so it'll be okay.
Sure, not at first, but what if you have a massive power line running through the center of your land?
Okay, are you trying to scare me? I don't have any massive power lines on my property. Don't you think that I am smart enough that I would have noticed that?
Even sure of your property lines? You know that you could have an encroachment.
An encroachment? Is that a disease? No, I just had a physical. They didn't say anything about encroachments.
It is not a disease. We are talking about your land, not your body. But an encroachment on your body would be something like a mole that shouldn't be there or a tumor. An encroachment on land is similar. Basically, it is a wrongful extension of a structure or another improvement onto the property of another.
Well, I plan on building in the middle of the land, so hopefully that won't affect me either. All of these would be super crummy-ola, but at least they're not going to cost me any actual money.
No, again, that is not true. If there is a mechanic's lien or a tax lien on the property, those liens must be paid.
Oh no. What are liens?
A lien is a right given to a creditor to have a debt or charge satisfied out of real or personal property belonging to a debtor. In layman's terms, if you have work done to your house and did not pay the person who did the work, they can put a lien on the property that will stick with the house until it is paid.
Oh no.
A tax lien is basically the same thing. If property taxes on a property go unpaid, a tax lien will attach to the property, making the home unsellable until the lien is paid.
Well, now that I am thoroughly terrified, what do I do? I already paid Great Uncle Bob's best friend's son, Joe. I am such a fool. What do I do now?
You need to get a handle on what it is you're looking at, which means that you need a title opinion, and if I were you, I would buy title insurance.
Okay, so who can perform a title opinion?
We have two options, an attorney or a title company. An attorney is going to look at the abstract and make sure that it reads correctly and then give you an opinion on the title. A title company is going to bring the abstract up to date and have an in-house attorney make sure that the chain of title makes sense and then provide title insurance.
What would title insurance even be used for?
Title insurance is a contract that provides the insured against loss occurring through defects in the title to the real property. Title insurance is always recommended.
Great. Another monthly payment. As if I don't already have enough insurances. Car insurance, life insurance, health insurance.
No, the premium for title insurance is only paid once at the time of closing. The best part is, if an issue is discovered with the title and title insurance is purchased, the policy will pay to correct the issue. Most lenders require title insurance.
Well, I think I now understand. Off to the title company I go. Wish me luck. Please let the land be normal, unencumbered, with a clear title. Fingers crossed for a clear title. Bye.
Everybody send good vibes to Lisi. She's gonna need them. That's all for chapter 5. See you for chapter 6.